Hi guys! So this is my first time trying to film a YouTube video since I was in middle school. The hardest part is going to be like looking over here to look at myself rather than looking at the camera part, but we'll get there. But I am a makeup artist. I primarily post on TikTok. However, I'm deciding I want to move over to YouTube with the new TikTok guidelines that are coming out, and I am not dealing with that personally. So let's go ahead and get started. Today is a get ready with me to hang out with my mom, have a little girls' day, and go run some errands and just have a good day today, honestly. Let's go ahead and get started. First things first is skin prep. So with my skin prep, I prefer to highly moisturize my skin just because I do have oily skin around my nose. However, I find that the best way to combat it is to go in and really moisturize. That has been my saving grace personally. First, I am going in with the Aveeno Oat Gel Moisturizer. I tried it out on a whim, and I really enjoy it. Something to know about me is that I am actually a licensed cosmetologist as well. Doing makeup and hair and skin and all that stuff is actually my day job. I am doing mostly esthetician's work. I am a waxer, I'm a sugarista. So I focus mostly with sugaring wax. I also do lashes, I do eyebrows, which are my favorite, I do facials, I do all of that stuff. So yeah. Next up is the Aveeno Triple Oat Serum. Again, super hydrating, and I know you're not supposed to put the dropper to your skin, so what I like to do is put it into my hand. Sometimes if I'm lazy, I'll just rub it on my skin because I have pretty good skin now as an adult. But as a kid, I had such horrible acne. I didn't need Accutane, luckily, but my hormones were all kinds of messed up. And last but not least, I'm actually trying a new product today. This is the Clinique Moisture Surge. I got this from one of the Ulta beauty kits. If I can get it open, there you go. And give it a try. And see how I like it. It smells like something I remember as a kid. It doesn't smell good. It smells medicinal. Although I prefer things to not have a scent in my skincare and skin prep. So yeah, as you can see, I have a light sheen on my face. I don't go for that whole glass skin thing. Glass skin is just not my look at all. I very much prefer a medium to full coverage type of look. I will do light coverage, but it's not really my thing. But I'm going in with my Laura Mercier Pure Canvas Primer. Again, super hydrating. You honestly don't really need a primer after all the skin prep that I do. Your skin prep should be able to act as a primer. I just prefer to have a primer to help with the finish overall. Or if you have a specific skin texture that you're trying to cover up, that is when you would go in with a primer as well. And now my skin is all nice and shiny. Ignore, I have actual texture on my skin. I pick at my skin a little bit. I have acne still because I'm in my 20s. It is just something that I have, and I will never pretend that I don't. So I will always have texture on my skin. You will always have texture on your skin. No one has smooth skin. That's a myth. It doesn't exist. I keep looking at myself. This will get better with time, I promise. My fiance. For my foundation, I'm going in with the Maybelline Superstay foundation. My fiance is currently cooking breakfast downstairs. I can smell the sausage. I'm trying to get this done pretty quickly. I'm not doing anything insane today. The way I like to describe my daily looks is like soft goth or grunge. Just because I don't like to do the full thing all the time, every single day. I am unfortunately lazy. Then for concealer, I'm going in, unfortunately, with the e.l.f. Cameo Concealer. If you know anything about what's going on right now, I do not support it at all. I just am using it while I have it, but I'm definitely gonna go and get another concealer once I run out. I'm actually pretty close to running out for this anyway. So, but I do not support them at all with what they're doing with Matt Rife. And I think it's genuinely ridiculous that a brand that prides themselves on being for women deciding for some reason to hire Matt Rife. First of all, even if he wasn't a bad person, that man has nothing to do with makeup. Second of all, have you seen the ad? Whoever did his makeup did him dirty on purpose, and you can't tell me otherwise. Alexa, skip. Started playing Gabby Hanna. Her music isn't bad, but I don't support her as a person either. She's questionable. Next, I am going in doing my face products. I am actually trying out the NYX Wednesday line. I have heard really good things about it, and this is the most cool toned like contour I've seen in a hot minute. I'm not like super pale at all by any means, but I am pale for me, and I prefer a cool toned like contour. I don't want a warm contour. It kind of defeats the purpose of the contour. So I'll try this out and see. I don't do too crazy of a contour anymore, so let's see. I don't know if it's because of the product I might have on my brush still, or what, but this is still pretty warm. Maybe it's just the fact that it's a brown and I want a gray tone. It's not bad. I actually still really like it. I think in the camera it's just really warm. I'm going in with the other side to do my nose. I just roughly contour my nose. I don't do anything crazy with it. I like the shape of my nose, so I just like to define the shape it has. Now that it's sitting on my face, I like it a little bit more. I don't know what it is about the nose contour that looks so much cooler than the rest of this, but not too bad. Then I like to go in with a big fluffy brush and diffuse it just the tiniest bit to blend the edges. Yeah, just to diffuse the edges a little bit so it's not as harsh on my face. Next I'm going in with my finger and I'm using this light shade up here to lighten my nose contour just a little bit. Just so I have a light bar of it too. But I actually really like it. I love the formula. I've always been a big fan of NYX. It's unfortunate that they're owned by L'Oreal now, but I love NYX specifically, so we're gonna try out these. I think I'm gonna go for one of these two. I think I'm gonna go for this one. I know it's a shimmery shade, but I want to try it and see if I like it. And then with a blush brush, going to see how we feel. This is where I like to place it, for me personally. But I really like that. I'm not usually one for like shimmery blushes. This is really nice. Before you come at me about blush blindness, I set my under eyes after this, so I take my advantage and put a lot on. I have to put the tiniest bit on the tip of my nose, just to add some warmth. Tiniest bit. Those are nice blushes. I've been wanting to try their Buttermelt. I just haven't gotten around to doing it because I was struggling with money for a little while now. But now I'm finally in a place financially where I actually can just buy products to try. So we're gonna give it a try. Next we're going in, this is one of the Ulta Beauty like makeup triangle things. And I use this, pat it on the back of my hand, and go in and set my under eyes. At the same time I shape out that nose contour just a little bit. The Juvia's Place setting powder has become one of my favorites and a staple in my routine since I bought it. Because look how blurring that is. That's crazy. And this was probably like 15 bucks, if that. And then I take this excess powder and I use a little bit on my chin and a bit on my forehead and carve out this very lightly. And then I let this sit for just a second. This one, I'm gonna be honest, this blush is not like overly shimmery. It's not like the ColourPop shimmer blushes. So if you want just a subtle shimmer, this is really good. And then I dust off the excess. And that's just my base routine. This is basically like my going out every day kind of look. I don't really do a lot of makeup for my work days because for my work days I'm working. I work in a salon and I'm tired and I'm sweaty and I tend to rub my face a lot, so I tend to go very minimal on my work makeup. Just some concealer, powder, a little bit of blush, and some gloss and mascara and stuff, like very basic stuff just for my work day. But for when I'm going out, that's when my real personality comes into play. Okay, next is my eyebrows. I'm going in with the brand that shall not be named that I mentioned earlier, and I'm just using this to define my brows. I already have really thick bushy brows. I do not need to make them like bigger or anything, so I first just fluff them to the shape that they're supposed to be, and then go in gonna have to use my mirror for this because I'm blind. I line my lower part of my brow. And then I take this up here, connect it, and lightly fill that top right there. And then I go in and I brush it through. And then I go in and I lightly fill in the brow. And again, go through my brush to make sure it's fully blended in. I'm going to put the tiny littlest bit wherever I feel like I need a little bit more dot. That's a solid brow. Then I go in with a brow gel, but I'll show that in just a second. I'm going to go ahead and do my other eye. Then I'm going in with the Essence brow gel. Ignore my cat. She decided to join us. I just go in and I literally just brush it through. And this is tinted too, so it helps blend any rough edges as well. Oh. Daisy, you can't have my breakfast. Daisy, you see this? Do you want out? My cat's a crackhead with my e.l.f. eyeliner, unfortunately. I do prefer the next one. The one I had ran out not long ago. So we're having to deal with what we got. And I'm not really good at showing tutorials for eyeliner. So we'll just go through with it. You can just watch as I do it. Well, that's pretty much how I do it. There's a little part here I need to clean up with some concealer, but overall, that's basically how I do it. My eye is watering. I'm gonna go ahead and do my other eyeball, and then we'll continue. Alright, that's my eyeliner. I decided I'm not even gonna touch this up because I don't care. And if I touch it up, it's gonna mess up the rest of it, and I'm not dealing with that. So next I go in with my ColourPop. I actually don't know the name of this pencil. It's all rubbed off. I've had this for so long. What I do is I just go in and I fill in the waterline. I have to look at myself doing this, but fill in my waterline. Bring it about to the middle of my eye. And that's that, right? I like to connect this just a little bit. I like to connect it just so it's more seamless, and then do the same thing on the other eye. Pretty quick and easy. I go in with just a fluffy brush and I smudge it just a little bit. I love that smudge look. And I do the same thing. Then I go in with my mascara, which is the brand that shall not be named, even though I keep mentioning it by accident. And I just put it on like a normal mascara. I need to go get a lash lift soon. I remember I said that one time to someone online and they were like, you shouldn't be getting beauty enhancements. And I'm like, it's a lash lift. First of all, I work in the beauty industry. Everything is about beauty enhancements. However, I think it's more alternative to express yourself in the way you want to than not expressing yourself because you're worried about what other people think. Next thing I do is usually my lips, but I'm about to eat breakfast, so I'm gonna go eat my breakfast, get dressed, and then I'll do my lips. So I'll be back in just a minute. Alrighty. And then I just got dressed. I'm just wearing my usual attire I would normally wear on a day out. I'm trying out the NYX Nightshade. I've heard it's pH reactive, so I'm not sure how I'm feeling about this, but we will see. It's pretty.
Down the street from here, I play in a band, I went to UW, I get it. My father doesn't. He says no, it's no.
Even though it is definitely pH reactive, I do think this is really pretty.
Have you ever even heard of the Hmong people? Our religion has got rules that are way old and way set in stone and way spiritual, and you don't mess with them. You don't anger the ancestors. Even if you pierce your tongue and play in a band. What are the rules exactly?
I definitely like this. This is really pretty. Alrighty. And oh, setting spray. I like to go in with my Revolution Super Fix. It is the closest I've been able to get a dupe for the Patrick Star. Or for the one size setting spray. So I'll just go ahead and do this. Alright, and then we're good to go. Normally I would dress up more, like going out with like some friends or my fiance. But with my mom, I like to turn it down a little bit because she's still hopping on the bandwagon of me looking like this. But like, I am so excited to start doing YouTube again. I have always wanted to do YouTube, but now that I'm at a grown age, I have an adult person job. Hopefully it'll all start coming together. And yeah, you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you again next time I'm able to upload.